All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. We are back for another week of Just a Fan podcast. All right, this week is a little bit of a slow week, but I'm not gonna say slow week. I'm gonna say transition week. Okay, it's a transition week because we have 50 days left uh, until the first kickoff regular season game between the Baltimore Ravens at Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. Teams are slowly starting to trickle into training camp. Houston Texans was the first team to have both veterans and rookies there. Um, and we got a little bit of news going on, including some holdouts, a possible trade request, and but we're also making this a viewer's choice show tonight. So let me introduce the guys. First, I am Coach Williams, the NFL Encyclopedia. As you can see on the screen, it says I can't retire because these guys won't let me retire. So, whatever. Down below, panel 316, the good guy with the black hat. He said his power's back on. Let's get it. What Eric, we'll talk more about that situation later on after the show. Um, Steve is to the side. What's up, man? The good quarterback who's not the quarterback, excuse me, the guy who came up with the idea of the show. What's up, man?
What's going on? What's going on? How you fellas doing?
Doing good, doing good. So like I said, just some quick small news. 6 guys are holding out, including Ayuk and CeeDee Lamb. Tristan Wirfs is holding out for them Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who should have gotten paid over Baker Mayfield. Also, Amari Cooper is holding out for the Cleveland Browns. Hassan Reddick is holding out for the New York Jets. I'm not surprised about that because I knew he wanted more money before he left Philadelphia. And Alvin Kamara is also holding out for the New Orleans Saints.
That's not good on his part.
No, it's not.
Where y'all want to start? Because I got opinions about all of that.
Well, let's do Ayuk last, of course. That'll be the transition. Anyway. Well, we just said it. I mean, I said it. Well, we said it in the green room too. Wirfs should have gotten paid over Baker Mayfield. Steve dropped some stats. If you want to drop those stats again for the viewer, Steve.
Oh yeah, Tristan Wirfs. I mean, he's only had 4 holding penalties, including 0 last season, with over 4,200 snaps.
So I want people to think about that. Tristan Wirfs had no holding penalties last season at all. That's 17-game season. Okay.
He played all 17 games too.
Huh?
He played all 17 games also.
And he played all 17 games. Even if he played 16, that's still fantastic. 15 is fantastic. It's not like he played one game, but so all those penalty all those no holds, and he's only had 4 in his entire career. I think he's played about 4 or 5 seasons of football. I mean, that's fantastic. You talking about what, maybe one hold per season, barely. I mean, he should have gotten paid. Right. He should have gotten paid. I know Baker Mayfield is a low end paid quarterback at $33 million. But if I had to choose between Baker Mayfield and Tristan Wirfs, looking at career production between the two, it definitely would have been Wirfs. What do you guys think?
Well, first of all, y'all know how I feel about Baker Mayfield. And basically, anybody that thinks Baker Mayfield is like a franchise quarterback, y'all need to go ahead and drink some bleach on the rocks. But Baker Mayfield does this all the time. He knows how to hoodwink, bamboozle, run amok, and lead astray just about every franchise he's played for. Okay.
Man.
What he does is that it's a cycle. It's a Baker Mayfield cycle. What up, Donald? He gets a shot.
What's up, Donald?
What's going on?
He plays pretty good. He plays just well enough for wherever he is for some team to say, hey, let's give him a deal. Then they give him a contract or something like that. Then he goes to playing piss poor. And then he finds himself somewhere else. And they say, hey, let's give Baker Mayfield a shot. And he plays just well enough to get some kind of deal. And then he gets that deal. And then guess what? We right back around to the piss poor play. So, so you don't want to pay Tristan Wirfs, who's, in my opinion, probably a top 5 left tackle in this league. So that basically means that basically means that Baker Mayfield's gonna have ample time in the pocket to throw interceptions. That's what that means. That's what that means. Like, I'm sorry, your left tackle is more important when you have a mediocre to below average quarterback. The left tackle is the cornerstone of your offense. Yes, you need a good quarterback, but if Baker Mayfield is all you got, he can wait. Pay your left tackle. I could understand if Tristan Wirfs was on the same team with Pat Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or somebody like that. Okay, no, we got to pay the quarterback. We got to pay him. Yeah, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about a tackle with the stats that Steve just laid out, come on, man. What we talking about here? $33 million?
And he's not lying. He's not lying at all.
Come on now.
I'm looking at this team, especially on offense. They drafted Bucky Irvin, who I think will probably be a decent running back in the league. You still have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin to throw the football to. I guess Sterling Shepard would be the number 3 receiver, which isn't too bad. Defensively, he's still led by Vita Vea. We'll see what some of these other guys can do because I recognize some names. Linebacker is definitely going through a change because what's his name? Devin White is in Philadelphia. Levante David, they kept Levante David over Devin White. You know, Levante David's long in the tooth, but he's still there.
Yeah.
Yaya DB, I see what he can do. He was a rookie last year. Steve's favorite pass rusher, Randy Gregory's on the team. Yeah, that's it. I'm not saying and Winfield Jr. But that's about it. It's not something the roster is not something to really do backflips over. There's some names, but yeah. I forgot where I had them for the NFC South when we had that conversation. I'd see him probably as the second best team, but going back to Baker Mayfield, man, he just doesn't have enough to keep him from making a ton of mistakes on offense. You got, like I said, you got a couple good receivers, but it's not enough at the end of the day.
I mean, didn't we pick the Bucs to finish last?
Sorry, is that what I said?
I believe so. Hold on, let me check the receipts because I got to get my receipt book. Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah. So we got some people joining us. What's up, Cleveland?
What's up, Cleveland? What's up, Eric James?
Eric James was good. But Baker Mayfield is just not it. As far as the quarterback position, even to pay him over before you pay Tristan Wirfs. Like I said, I would have paid Wirfs first. What's up?
And I'm back.
What you got?
So no. We didn't pick Tampa Bay to finish last, and that's only because Carolina is in their division.
That's right. Okay, so where do we have them? Or at least where did I have them? Huh? What? Eric,
Yo,
yo,
yeah.
what did you say?
I said we didn't pick Tampa Bay to finish last in their division. That's because Carolina is in their division.
Yep, agree 100%.
So,
Okay,
but
so
we all picked Tampa Bay to finish third.
okay, cool. Okay, so it's third. Okay.
Yeah. And that's
Okay.
only because Carolina is a steaming dumpster fire.
What's up, Donald? Hey, Donald. We have this question. We're going to get to it later on in the show. Okay, so hang around.
We're gonna get to your questions. Trust me.
And we have this exact copy of the question. Okay. What's up, Q?
What up, Q?
What's up?
So yeah, so okay, so we had Tampa Bay in third place. So yeah, Baker Mayfield is not going to. And if shoot, you mess around, Tristan, not having Tristan Wirfs could end up in last place. You never know. You never know.
If Tristan Wirfs does, in fact, they don't get this figured out. You're talking about the blind side of a already mediocre quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not being protected. So he's already. You could put the All-Pro team of all pro tackles, linemen, for the last 5 years, the best guards, the best center, the best two tackles in front of Baker Mayfield, and he's still prone to crap the bed. So you take away his left tackle. Hey, popcorn. That's all I'm saying.
And the thing is, I just looked at the quarterback depth chart, and if Baker Mayfield goes down,
Kyle Trask.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
Yeah. And Kyle Trask, I watched him play in high school. He's from Manville, Texas. He ain't much to write home about. I watched him play in person in high school. Yeah. I watched him play in college. I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Let's get to Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's holding out for more money. They traded for Jerry Jeudy, but Jerry Judy's not number one receiver.
No, Amari Cooper is.
Yeah, and Amari Cooper's had a very underrated career. He produces, man. He produces.
Yeah, he's a very good receiver.
Yes.
Very good receiver. He's consistent. He runs route. He catches the football. He does what you need him to do.
So Amari Cooper
does not get coach of the year. Well, he shouldn't have got it, but he does not get that without Amari Cooper.
Yeah, Amari Cooper is his holdout, I believe, is a product of the exploding wide receiver market.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, wait a minute. I'm only making $20 million a year. I'm the number one wide receiver on a contending team. I know they got school drugged by the Texans in the playoffs. I understand all of that. But you got to look at who they beat during the season. You know what I'm saying? Look at the teams they went toe-to-toe with, and they didn't back down. And this is without their best quarterback. Not playing
and running back.
Yeah, or running back. So it's a product of this exploding receiver market. It's Trent Baalke's fault, by the way. It's going to be Trent Baalke's fault because Trent Baalke started this about 2 years ago. And this is the reaping of what he sold 2 years ago by overpaying Christian Kirk. And I'm going to stand on that 10 toes down. I'm not changing my opinion on it. If you really pay attention to what's going on, you cannot deny what I'm saying. Okay? Trent Baalke did this. But rightfully so, Amari Cooper has a right to ask to get some more chicken on his plate. I get that phrase from Beast Mode. He always say, protect your chicken. He talk about your money. He deserves some more chicken on his plate. Because, hey, man, y'all brought in Jerry Jeudy, but Jerry Jeudy can't do what I do. He don't run routes as clean as I run them. So, there you go. So, the question is, are the Browns going to go ahead and run him some more coins, give him an extension, give him more guaranteed money? I think if $2-3 million more dollars a year, I think that'll satisfy him because there are guys right now that are not as good. They are not as good as Amari Cooper and are making more money, and that's what he's looking at. That this whole holdout is a product
Oh
of that.
yeah. Well, yeah, we mentioned the whole receiver market change. Just like guys who've been putting in that work consistently are like, hey, okay. That's why I understand your passion, Eric, when the market's reset, man, just how it screws everything up for
Yes,
for everybody.
everyone.
And like I said, we'll get to Brandon Ayuk in a minute, but you know, there were a couple things that were brought up. I think Eric played it in our group chat for wide receivers. Two wide receivers who are number 2 receivers on the team got paid good money. Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle. So to me, we blame Trent Baalke for overpaying Christian Kirk, but now you have to blame Howie Roseman and Jeff Lurie, and you have to blame who's the owner down in Miami, the principal owner, Stephen Ross, I think is his name. You have to blame those guys because you're paying those two WR2s, Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith, are getting paid $25 million a year. That's resetting the wide receiver market as well.
And I hear what you're saying, but I still say those movements were reactionary to what happened 2 years ago.
Understandable. However, I'm not paying a WR2 that much money when I have a true WR1.
That's facts.
Because I can trade Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith for draft picks and give a new WR2 at wide receiver.
Yeah. I hear you.
And he'd be much cheaper. Because my thing is this. For Waddle and Devontae Smith, you had to go to another team who's going to pay you, and you had to probably be their WR1, which means you get all the attention. And Devontae Smith, when he was a rookie, was the primary receiver, and he couldn't hold that down. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, I don't remember what Jalen Waddle could do before Tyreek Hill got there, but Tyreek Hill's it's the main guy in Miami. So I would have traded those guys for, like I said, for draft picks, and then I would have got me another wide receiver who'd have been way cheaper. Way cheaper.
Yep. That's one of the times it's cheaper to keep it isn't right. So yeah, but the going back to the original point about Amari Cooper, that's why he's holding out. I'm willing to bet that's one of the primary reasons why he's holding out. He looked at his paycheck, then he looked on ESPN and Bleacher Report and all those other mediums. It's like, wait a minute, these guys are twos. These guys are twos.
Yeah.
And they getting paid more than me. Then let's not even talk about your Michael Pittmans or your Nico Collinses, who are basically not as good as Amari Cooper. And they're getting more than they're paid more than him. So I understand where Amari Cooper's coming from.
No, definitely.
I think the big question is, because I don't know that franchise well enough or how they act. The question is, are they going to appease him, or are they going to just sit there and say, nah, you're going to come and you're going to play for what we want you to play for, and you sit down and be quiet and shut up? Because right now, this is the last year of his deal. They can void his deal going into next season. They don't have to. They can say, hey, you could come on in and play for this $20 million, and we let you walk in free agency at 31 years old. And see what you get.
No, that is true.
Because that's right now. He's 30 years old. And age has a lot to do with it. I'm going to get to that in a minute when we start talking about Brandon Ayuk and all of the trade rumors and all that other crap. But he's 30 years old. He's going to be 31 next year. So this year he's going to be 30, playing at $20 million. I think that's another motivating factor as to why he wants more money, is because, hey, man, I'm getting long in the tooth. This is the last year of my deal. I don't know what I'm going to get after this, because they could void his contract next year, or they could keep him. So it's right now he's making a lot of waves. I doubt if they keep him past this year.
But you know what? You know what else is hurting them? The Cleveland Browns. Part of that Deshaun Watson contract, I think, is still hurting them.
Absolutely. That's really that is the fly in the ointment that nobody really wants to talk about. Is how much his deal, Deshaun Watson's deal, is hamstringing them from signing these bigger contracts. And again, receiver is one of those starting to become one of those positions where, hey man, we can go find a guy. Now, I'm sorry, even when he was in Dallas, I was like, Amari Cooper's a great wide receiver. He's very underrated. I think he's very good, and he doesn't get the recognition he deserves. So that being said, I think that trend is unfairly going to continue.
Yeah, it is. It is
unfairly. I want to be clear when I say unfairly continue. Yeah. So let's move on.
Hassan Reddick, holding out pass rusher for the Jets. I'm not surprised because when he was in Philadelphia, yeah, he got the contract extension, but the contract was front loaded for 2 years, and those 2 years are up. I'm sure he wants more guaranteed money. Because I think he has about 3 or 4 years left on his contract.
Stand by.
And so I think they can give him some more guaranteed money. But that franchise is in a point where you only have about a year, barely 2 years to even try to win a Super Bowl because Aaron Rodgers is not going to play too much longer. No. And I think for Hassan Reddick, if he has, let's say, 3 or 4 years left on his contract, I will front load another 2 years. And then if we don't win a Super Bowl, then you need to start cleaning the house of whatever's in New York. Because Rodgers is 40, 41 years old in that range. Tyron Smith is on his last leg. He played 13 games for Dallas, but that's because Dallas just told him, don't worry about practicing. Yeah, that team is built to win this year and not too much further beyond. What do you think?
So right now he's making 14-2 coming up this season.
Okay.
Okay, 14-2 on average. So he had a 3-year, something flew in my eye. 3-year, $45 million deal. Okay, they voided his 25, 26, and 27 year deal.
Oh,
so that has a lot to do with. And see, I want to be clear when we talk about this type of stuff because a lot of people, they talk about trade here and do this and do that and da 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 da. They don't know how the salary cap works. They don't know how the business nuances of the NFL works. They basically play Madden and turn off the salary cap on Madden and think everything is supposed to work like that in real life, and it doesn't. So that's what I want to be very clear about is when we talk about this stuff, you have to consider all of these nuances, all of these variables that go into it. You got to consider the player's age. You got to consider how much he's making. You have to consider the market. You have to consider where he is. Location is a big part of it too. So it's a big deal when you're sitting up there talking about, somebody like a Hassan Reddick, wanting to get more money. He's 30 this coming season. He'll be turning 30. Okay. So again, this is another guy. He's getting up in age. He's still one of the best pass rushers in the league, but he feels like he needs to get him some more chicken on his plate so he can protect his chicken. So moving on, something happens or he loses a step. Hey man, I got something put away. And I understand why he wants to do that. And honestly, like you were saying, Brandon, and I'm sorry for taking up too much time.
No, you're good.
Like you were saying, this Jets team is not going to be great very long.
It's not.
Their window is very, very small. They have what they need to be very, very dangerous for maybe a year or two. So right now, this is, that phrase we like to use called all in. If I'm the Jets, I'm going all in and going ahead and give Hassan Reddick what he wants. Because there is no tomorrow, like Apollo Creed told Rocky.
You're right. There's no tomorrow.
There's no for a franchise like that. There is no tomorrow
because we said 1 or 2 years, and honestly, that second year is a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally a stretch.
Yeah.
So,
But
another. Go ahead.
go ahead. No.
No, I was gonna say because I was going to change. I was gonna say Alvin Kamara is also another holdout.
Now that's a different story. Because here's what you don't do in the NFL. You're running back and you hold out.
29 years old.
You're the 29-year-old running back who's been the bell cow workhorse back for the New Orleans Saints for the longest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't have a highly dubious bargaining position. You don't.
Especially coming off the kind of season he had. I mean,
exactly. You have
he had like less. He had less than 800 yards rushing.
You have $15 million a year, brother. Hey, you gonna have to go ahead and live with that. Where you at? You're a running back, damn good one, but you're a running back. Running backs don't have a good bargaining posture right now in this league.
No,
they just don't.
Nope.
So for you to hold out, they looking at you like, okay. Especially, and Saints fans don't get mad at me about this, but I'm just telling the truth, and the truth hurts. Especially with the Saints cap situation where they love to kick the can down the road. They've been doing it for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yes, they have.
Y'all notice how every year, if you pay attention, every year at the end of the year, the Saints are like 35 million over the cap. And then by the time the season starts, they got 17 million in cap space.
Actually, you remember a couple of years ago when they were $100 million over the cap.
It was bad. Yes.
It was horrible.
It was really bad.
It was horrible. I was like, wow. And they were able to get under the cap though. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm looking at Kamara's contract. Really, they can get out of it now if they want to.
Yes.
But if they don't, and then just take a $10 million hit after the season, which is fantastic. I mean, that's a fantastic hit. But, another person they need to get rid of, and I thought about this, Taysom Hill.
Uh-huh.
Because, remember, he got a contract extension. And I'm like, Taysom Hill really hasn't done much of anything in the NFL. He got a lot of hype.
He hasn't.
He might have had a spectacular game or two. But outside of that, what has Taysom Hill really done? They overpaid him big time. They could have let that man walk.
Well,
I'm going to get to it later, but I'm looking at like the highest paid players on the Saints. There's no way in hell Taysom Hill should be making more money than a Tyrann Mathieu or Demario Davis.
No
what?
Way in hell. You know what, Eric? If I had a chair, I would have threw it.
Yeah.
Let me say this. We know the market, and I'm agreeing. We know the market with as far as salary with offensive players, defensive players. Taysom Hill salary is reflective of the fact that they lack offensive talent, on the Saints.
But you could draft.
No, I know how they can get talent. I'm saying they lack it.
I understand that, but draft. I'm gonna say it. I've said it a million times before, and I'm gonna say it a million times again. Scout, draft, develop. Scout, draft, develop.
And then you pay him when you find out who you develop.
Because Taysom Hill, like I said, may have had 2 great games. And that's a stretch. Taysom Hill has not earned that money. And he, I guess, is supposed to be some little hybrid quarterback / tight end. And I can sit here and throw you a lateral and then you throw the football to somebody wide open, but that doesn't mean that you should have paid him the money you paid him.
Yeah. And then you got young guys like a Chris Olave, who's the future. Trevor Pennings, those younger guys.
Yeah.
Their deals are going to be coming up pretty soon. And
I know.
You need to be spending money on those guys. And there's not a lot of money to go around because, again, sooner or later, Saints fans, payday is coming. You're going to have to pay that credit card bill. Okay? and you've been kicking the can down the road and working it.
You've really been kicking the can down the road.
And hats off to the Saints because they know they are the masters of moving money around and okay, we got cap room now. Let's go do something. They are the masters of that. They are probably the best team in the league to do that, but eventually it's going to come back and bite you. And I think they know that. And I think that's why they standing pat on Alvin Kamara. I don't think they're going to pay Alvin Kamara. And Alvin Kamara doesn't have any leverage.
I wouldn't.
He doesn't have any leverage.
I wouldn't.
You're about to be 29 years old. We didn't see you take the beating. You the bell cow back. You take most of the doggone handoffs. You catching balls out the backfield. The tread on the tire starting to wear thin. What we look like paying you more money?
If the Saints don't win, Lord have mercy, shut up, Brandon. If the Saints don't win that division, they are going to go through a lot of changes. Kamara's got to be gone. Taysom Hill's got to be gone. Derek Carr's got to be gone. Dennis Allen has got to be gone.
Yeah, he's the first one gone. Yeah, he's going to be the first.
If this season, I don't know what their schedule look like, but if this season starts off shaky, like 2-4 or something, Dennis Allen's gone, and then, like I said, all those players are just gone right afterwards.
Now watch this. Watch this. I still had the Saints winning that division.
I do too, but
if Kamara shows up to camp and like, hey man, we're gonna squash it. I'm gonna come play.
No. I get that.
They're the best team in that division.
I get that. But all I'm saying is, if you start off bad, Dennis Allen is gone. If you start off 2-4, Dennis Allen is gone.
Oh, you saying before the season over? That's what you're saying?
Do you see Dennis Allen lasting the entire season if they start off bad?
No, you make a good point.
You got to remember, Saints fans, and I'm not saying this in a negative way when I say this. Saints fans were spoiled with Sean Payton and Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm.
You asking that people always ask, and it's a tall order. Fans always ask players and coaches to immediately fill in the shoes of the previous coach or quarterback or whatever. And a lot of times it just doesn't work out that way.
Yeah.
For Dennis Allen come right behind Sean Payton, to me, that's a no-win situation. That is a no-win situation whatsoever. Dennis Allen would have had to win a Super Bowl within the first 2 to 3 years for him to even appease anybody. And now it's like you're struggling, but part of the reason why you're struggling because you can't hardly bring in anybody because Taysom Hill is swallowing a lot of your salary cap space. He is. Taysom Hill's expensive. Like you said, he is getting paid more than Tyrann Mathieu, and he's getting paid more than Demario Davis. Why?
Okay, we doing Shaq and Charles Barkley. Okay. No, I'm glad you said pause right there. But think about it though. I mean, he's taking up a lot of salary cap space that he shouldn't be taking. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Okay. So let's move on from that. Alvin Kamara should not hold out. I think we're all in agreement there because he doesn't have a good bargaining posture. Okay, who we got next?
So basically, CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Ayuk.
Let's start with CeeDee because we almost go because I got a lot to say about the Brandon Ayuk situation, and I'm gonna clarify a lot of things for a lot of people who think some other stuff. Okay?
I don't really. I mean, unless Steve got more than me, I don't have much to really say about CeeDee Lamb except for I think he gets paid at some point before the season. He's worth the money because he's gotten better every year since he came in the league.
Agreed.
Yeah.
His career numbers is on par with Justin Jefferson. Does he have to get paid $35 million? I mean, yay, nay, whatever. I mean, I'm sure he'll probably take $34 million. Would he take $36 million? Of course he would. Would he take $35 million? I'm sure he would. But pay the man. I think he gets paid before the season. If we go into September, the first game against the Browns, and he's not paid, then I'm concerned.
Yeah, we traditionally pay players late. So we
That's
do.
another thing too.
Now, I do remember mentioning, and you guys know the Marco Polo group, that whoever pays their player pays their player first with the right number is the smartest.
I
agree.
agree.
We didn't have that. The market was reset, but
I'm glad you said that, Steve, because that's going to help me with what I'm about to say later.
We have these extensions. Pay first before someone F's up the market, and now you're forced to be taxed.
Come on.
So that's all I got.
But you know, and I know where Eric is going to go, because honestly, and we just said this earlier when we was talking about Mark Cooper, the person who messed it up originally was Trent Baalke with paying Christian Kirk. Okay, that's number one.
And that was 2 years ago. 3 years
Number
ago.
two, giving Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle, I just said it, you paying two number 2 wide receivers all that money. I would have traded them somewhere, gotten a draft pick, and I would have drafted me a wide receiver somewhere in the first 3 to 4 rounds.
That's playing on the rookie salary.
Could you imagine paying a 4th round wide receiver who's your number 2 guy? You have this is how teams get into salary cap hell. And I'm gonna use it, salary cap hell, because they make these kind of decisions. When you pay Baker Mayfield over Tristan Wirfs, when you pay Devontae Smith a number 2 wide receiver, when you pay Jalen Waddle a number 2 wide receiver, for the love of God, I don't understand why the Giants paying Daniel Jones. Saquon, your best offensive player is down Interstate 95 on your division rival,
and about to kick your teeth in twice a year because you want to pay Daniel Jones.
Teams shoot themselves in the foot. Teams put their foot in their mouth, and a lot of teams have 2 left feet.
Made out of rocks. So my take on the CeeDee Lamb thing, okay. So it's a really tight spot for the Dallas Cowboys at this particular point, because you still had to pay Micah Parsons, you got to pay CeeDee Lamb, and then there's Dak Prescott. So unpopular take here. Out of those 3 guys, in my opinion, the most expendable person on that out of those 3 guys is Dak Prescott. I know that may not be a popular take.
I agree.
He's because you want your young studs.
You're
basically correct. Okay. We know at this point what Dak Prescott is. Okay. We have CeeDee Lamb who's getting better every year, and pretty much CeeDee Lamb could probably do what he does with any quarterback. Okay. Then you have Micah Parsons that basically, if you let him play one position, he's probably going to be really damn good at it instead of moving him all over the damn place. He's an all-pro. Okay. So those are your linchpins of your offense and your defense right now. You already went out and got you some more linemen. Okay. Those guys they take precedence over Dak Prescott. Now, a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that one, but just speaking pragmatically from a business standpoint and from the longevity, if you really want to call yourself all in, Jerry Jones, you pay your young studs first, because Cooper Rush is a good quarterback. Now, you went out and gave a 4th rounder away for Trey Lance. What happens when if Trey Lance finally gets to maturity under his belt and starts shining in camp? That means that's less money going in Dak Prescott wallet later. He's like, wait a minute, we got this kid, mate. Hey, man, Dak, go ahead and play out this year. We're going to be all right.
Yeah.
You know, just, yeah.
Hey, but you know,
finally matured.
Another thing I've said too, and I've said on the show, and I said it when we was covering the NFC East.
Yeah.
Yes, we have Dak, Micah, and CeeDee Lamb up for contracts. Even though their contracts don't run out, Tyler Smith is eligible for a contract extension if he has another season at guard.
I forgot all about
that he's had this coming off season. He's going to be worth the money. You look at Jake Ferguson. He was a top 7 tight end last season. If he continues to ascend the way he's going, he's going to be worth the money. And then Deron Bland at corner. If he has another season like he had this past season, he's going to be worth the money. So you're looking at Bland, Smith, and Ferguson. Those are other guys who could be getting paid as well.
The credit card bill coming due. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but just to close that segment about CeeDee Lamb, because I want to talk about Brandon Ayuk, and we're gonna get into our viewer questions. CeeDee Lamb deserves every red cent he asked for. I don't care what. If he goes in there and says, "I want exactly what Jay Jetta has," they need to give it to him.
I agree.
Now, of course, I would go in because that's just how you do business. You go in, you lowball him first and see what he'll take. Hey, CD, how about 32? And if he says okay, hit a pin. You know, but you know, he has the right at this point to go in there and ask for 35 or 36. He has the right to go in there and ask for more than Jay Jetta. Because he's gonna say, you know what he's gonna say? You know what he's gonna say? Cowboy fans, I know y'all gonna agree with me with this, and this is very market calendar. This is one time we're gonna agree. He's got something over Justin Jefferson from this past season. CeeDee Lamb played every damn game for Dallas.
Okay.
Did Jay Jetta do that?
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Okay.
So he's going to have to say, hey, man, I'm more durable. You know what I'm saying? I got it done. And my number, I got it done. The games we lost, you didn't call my number enough.
And the thing is, you can't say that there's an age gap between the two because they were drafted the same year.
Hello.
Without CeeDee Lamb, we don't win as many games, obviously, and that is not an MVP candidate.
Oh God, no.
An MVP finalist without CeeDee Lamb.
You're right.
There you go.
And Jake Ferguson,
the Cowboys fans, this is one of the few times we agree.
And Jake Ferguson don't have the kind of season he has.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? That's a valid point. This offense might go through CeeDee Lamb.
It does. Looking objectively at the Dallas Cowboys offense, CeeDee Lamb is the straw that stirs the drink, especially last year, especially this past season. And probably going into next season because I still don't trust that running game. We got to see if Rico Dowdle going to get it done because I ain't even talking about Ezekiel right now.
I ain't talking about Ezekiel. Don't
3 point something to carry. No.
The only thing I can bring up good about Zeke is he's good in pass protection. That's it.
Yeah. So moving on, the elephant in the room because my phone been blowing up all this week. I'm out on the ranch. I'm on the tractor. I'm trying to move hay. I'm cutting grass. My phone blowing. Man, Brandon Ayuk didn't ask for a trade. What y'all gonna do? Y'all about to lose, BA. Let me tell y'all something. Let's get this together. Let me get y'all together right quick, okay? First thing first. One, you got to look at the history of the team. And I don't agree with it because like Steve was talking about before, stop paying people late because whoever pays their guys first sets the market and you have to follow that. Okay? Because Steve was spot on when he said that. The 49ers have an uncanny disability of paying their players late. And they didn't anticipate the wide receiver market exploding like it did, which is their fault. It's their fault. It's nobody else's fault but John Lynch and company. Okay? They want to pay this man $26 million because the amount that came out now. They want to pay him $26 million in July. If they'd offered him that same $26 million at the beginning of March, he'd have signed, and all of this would be behind us. It would all be behind us, okay? Because at that point, it would have been before Devontae Smith's deal. It would have been before Jalen Waddle's deal. It would have been before Nico Collins' deal. Oh, and guess what? It'd have been before Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jay Jetta's deal.
Yep.
Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying that Brandon Ayuk deserves $35 million. No, sir. I'm not saying that. However, what I am saying is that, and Emmanuel Acho stole my stuff because if y'all go back and look at some of my comments in previous shows for Just a Fan podcast, Emmanuel Acho said the same thing a day ago on Speak for Yourself, and I'm like, he watching our show. I said yesterday's price is not today's price. Y'all remember when I said that? Y'all remember that?
Yes, I do.
I said that weeks ago, and the 49ers are souped up on the notion that basically that yesterday's price is today's price, and that's not how it works. And Brandon Ayuk is fair for asking. And here's the stupid part. They haggling over about $3 or $4 million a year. That's it. Okay. Brandon Ayuk is right for wanting to get paid somewhere between $29 and $31 million. He's right. He has all the stats to prove it. He's a top 10 wide receiver in almost every statistical category with less targets than most of the guys that have been playing and have gotten paid. Less targets. He did more with less. He got less targets. He's on a run-first offense and got 1,300 yards receiving.
He was ranked, I'm sorry to cut you off. He was ranked 22nd in targets.
Yep. 22nd in targets, but top 10 in every other category. So he did more with less. So when you sit up and say Brandon Ayuk is not elite, oh no, sir. I beg to differ. Brandon Ayuk has made chicken salad out of chicken shit. Excuse my language. Okay? And I'm not saying that about his teammates. He has not gotten the opportunities that a lot of these other guys have gotten to get the yards. Like, people say, well, Amon-Ra St. Brown got more yards, this, that, and the third. I said Amon-Ra St. Brown got probably twice as many targets. And then I looked it up and I was right. So he's right to want to get paid. They should start at 28 and work around that. They sitting pat at 26, acting like Brandon Ayuk ain't worth it. Now here's the deal. Let me flip it on the other side. Brandon Ayuk asking for a trade. Everybody's Brandon Ayuk for the lead San Francisco. Hey man, this ain't the NBA. Just because a player asked to be traded don't mean he gonna get traded.
I agree.
Yeah, it don't work that way in this league.
It does not work that way in this league. Sadly enough, you are
and also just like Eric said, this is not Madden. You cannot turn off salary cap.
You can't
and all
do
of a
that.
sudden just all of a sudden, let me trade, let me get this player, let me get that player. Let me build an all-Madden roster.
Okay, so let me say this. The 49ers, they stay true to their history. Whatever, you know how they say if it walk like a duck, it talk like a duck, and quack like a duck, it's a duck. Yep. The 49ers, they stay true to their nature. They sign players late, and when they go on public and make a statement, they stick to that statement. They said, we have no intention of trading Brandon Ayuk. And some of y'all are like, let me tell you something. They're not going to trade him, and here's why. They have the leverage, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon Ayuk is still under the 5th year's contract. That's $14.1 million. He can sit out if he wants to, but then he going to lose money. And here's the thing. Mm-hmm. If he decided to sit out the whole season, 1, he's lost a year of his prime, and 2, he will have lost more money than he's made in his career. He's only made about $13.25 million throughout his whole 4 years.
Oh, yeah. And not just that.
He will have lost more. Go ahead, Steve. I'm going to keep going.
You're on a team, and I'm not going to use him as an example because he's a big part of the offense. But what happens with players who do this kind of thing is you can get written out of the game plan. I'm not saying he will because of how important he is, but guys that say in the NFL that they want to trade him, like, you do know they cannot give you carries. You do know,
and he's already not getting a lot of targets.
It's gonna hurt in the long run, so it's a really bad look for this league, man.
But now again, I'm going back and forth to each side of this conflict between the Niners and Brandon Ayuk. I'm looking at both sides of it, so I'm being fair. On the flip side, the Niners are nowhere near the NFC Championship without him this year. Nowhere. I don't care if everybody else on that team stays healthy. Without Brandon Ayuk, they are not getting back to the NFC Championship and damn a Super Bowl. Okay? He is an integral part of that. He's not the linchpin, but he's an integral part of it.
Yeah.
So that's something that the 49ers need to realize. So he's right. BA's right about that part. But here's the thing. The Niners, again, they have the leverage. Now, again, he's still under his 5th year of his contract. And then when that runs out, he still can't be a free agent because they can slap him with the franchise tag if they want to.
Yep.
So they have the leverage. But here's where the Niners, again, this is where the Niners are wrong. Niners should not want to do that to somebody that they value because now you got hard feelings now. You got a disgruntled wide receiver. Don't do that to that man. So I'm just using both sides of the argument and showing why both sides are full of crap. Okay? BA asking for a trade, that's posturing. Okay. Remember who asked for a trade about 2 years ago? Debo Samuel. Damn, what team he playing for right now? I rest my case. Okay. They got that deal done right at camp. All right. So, like, just because this man is set up here and asked for a trade, everybody, oh, he gone. No, he's not. No, he's not. Because eventually the Niners like to play chicken, and this time they're gonna have to move a little bit. Both of them gonna have to flinch. So BA probably not gonna get 30-something, but he gonna get paid. The Niners are gonna still get BA. They're gonna have to pay more than what they wanted to pay because 26 is a slap in the face right now. In March, 26 would have been great. But in July, 26 is a slap in the face. Now, let's talk about all these trade rumors because that's going to answer some of these questions that we got coming up pretty soon. Some of these trade rumors, they talk, well, I heard two things that are both highly ridiculous. Let me go ahead and get one of them. The first one, the 49ers should trade BA to the Washington Commanders for Terry McLaurin and a third-round draft pick. Stop it. Okay, first thing first. Yes, we know Jaden Daniels, they friends and everything, and they played at Arizona State before Jaden Daniels left to go to LSU. Brandon Ayuk is 26. Terry McLaurin is 28. I know 2 years is an eternity. That's the first thing. Okay. Second of all, a third-round draft pick is not going to recoup what the Niners need. Okay. Third thing, and a lot of people ain't considering this. The Washington Commanders are on an uptick. They are on an uptick. Why in the Grecian Spanish Jello and fruit cup gumbo hell would the 49ers want to strengthen a conference opponent that's on their way up? They just got a first-round quarterback for the first. They finally probably gonna have some good quarterback play for the first time in the longest. Why would we want to make them stronger? So that trade, no, sir. The only way Brandon Ayuk goes to the Commanders, they're going to have to give a half the team to us. Real talk. And some picks. Because, again, the 49ers said we have no intention of trading him. When they say I have no intention, you got to look at that. We have no intention of trading them. Intention means we don't want to. But if you give us something sweet enough, we'll let him go. But no team is willing to give up that much for BA right before training camp or right at the trade deadline. Nobody's willing to do that. I ain't giving up a first for BA. Because remember, in the draft, he was on the table, but they was like, we want a first. That's why that trade never happened. Debo was on the table. That was them just throwing bait out there. If some of y'all fish, y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all saltwater fish, y'all might take the head off the shrimp and throw it out there in the water and see if the water ripples. That's what that was. You ain't threw a hook out there. You just seen if something gonna bite. That's all that was. That's again posturing. Let me handle the second trade so we can get to these questions. A lot of people talking about, well, he can go to the Raiders because the Raiders in the AFC and they could get Devontae Adams straight up for Brandon Ayuk. Man, please, you know how stupid that sounds. Brandon Ayuk is 26 years old. 26. How old is Devontae Adams, Brandon?
31.
31 years old. Now, here's the best part.
That's worse than Terry McLaurin.
Hold on. Wait. This is the best part. How much did the Niners want to offer Brandon Ayuk? Did y'all remember me saying earlier?
26.
Y'all remember? $26 million. How much does Devontae Adams' contract, how much is that yearly?
28.
28. Why the hell would you pay more for an older car? Same model, but a different year. And you're paying a higher note. I thought the whole point of them wanting to trade him is so they wouldn't have to pay him. Why would you pay Devontae Adams, who's 31 years old and has starting to show signs of slowing down because of injuries, not because of ability, just injuries. He's starting to slow down and then pay more than what you were going to pay Brandon Ayuk when you could just give Brandon Ayuk that 28 and throw a couple of more million on top of it. Not everybody's happy. Make it make sense, folks. I get serious about this because people be throwing out stuff and I'll be like, you're not thinking. And I'm not insulting your intelligence. I'm asking you to think. People do not think about the business aspect of trades, of contracts, how the salary cap works, all of those things. And some people sitting there and saying, well, the 49ers only got $31 million in cap space. How they gonna give Brandon Ayuk a $30 million contract? Again, you don't know how the cap works, but you don't know how contracts work. Contracts explode as time goes on. They wouldn't give him $30 million right off the top. And also his signing bonus doesn't count against the cap. Again, learn how the business works. That's what I'm saying. So in conclusion, so we can get to our viewer questions, basically, will Brandon Ayuk get traded? Highly unlikely. Will Brandon Ayuk sign with the 49ers? Highly likely. Will it be late? Probably almost somewhere in training camp? Highly likely. You heard it here first. Okay? George Kittle, Fred Warner, Deebo Samuel. Hell, Nick Bosa didn't get his deal until the week of the first game. Y'all remember that? The first week of the first game of the season. Trust the process. Let's get to some questions.
All right. First question, and it's still regarding Brandon Ayuk. It says, what team would realistically contact the 49ers and request a trade for Brandon Ayuk? The three teams I've heard,
You can
honestly, was Washington, Pittsburgh, and New England.
Mm-hmm.
Those are three teams I've heard. Eric, I don't know if you heard anything else as far as anybody have an interest in Brandon Ayuk.
It's the Raiders.
You've heard the Raiders as well?
Yeah, the Raiders. But here's again, they've been calling. They've been calling since the draft.
So has Washington.
They've been calling since the draft. All of these teams been calling since the draft.
Yes, I'm sorry. I think the real question. Oh, Steve has something to say.
I think that was Steve or you, Brandon? Somebody.
If I'm Ayuk, and again, I don't know the cap situation with this particular team. If I'm Ayuk, and if I'm San Fran, and well, there's some bad blood with what I'm about to say as far as if I'm him where I want to go. I want to go to the Chargers. If I'm him. If I'm him as a player, I want to go there.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you for even saying
and
that.
I hear what you're saying, Steve, but I'm gonna counter with this statement. People in hell want ice water.
Which is why I said the blood between their new head coach, i.e. Harbaugh, and San Fran, there's something going on there. But if I'm him, I want to go somewhere where I can win immediately and have a good quarterback.
Yeah, no, I don't blame him.
But the point is, he can want all he wants. The Niners are not going to trade him. That's what I'm saying.
Right. And I think the only way they trade him is if they are blown out by a.
It's got to be a haul. Yeah.
And my thing is, you have to look at the past and see who was traded for what. Now, I can go all the way back to saying Joey Galloway got traded for 2 first-round picks. Roy Williams was traded for a first, third, and a sixth. I forgot what guys like Tyreek Hill was traded for, and I forgot what Devontae Adams has been traded. I think Hopkins has been traded. So it's a lot of research behind all that to see what these guys been traded for. But you definitely got to start at least with a first round pick, and then go from there.
And a lot of teams ain't willing to give it up, even though as much as they claim to covet him, they're not willing to give it up.
Right, you have to give up a first round. It's because you got to remember you have to give up a first round pick, an additional pick or two. Or hold on, I was just going to say that you have to give up a pick, maybe additional pick or two, or you have to give up a first round pick and then a certain kind of player, and then like you said, you got to pay him. So that's a lot.
And then here's the last thing on that part, and we're gonna leave any questions about Ayuk alone. I think we've answered all of them. We're gonna just get to other things, but here's another thing you got to look at too. Brandon Ayuk said he want to play for a champion. So he wants to go to a team that's a definite contender right now. Not a team that's eventually going to be a contender, but a team that can contend for a Super Bowl right now.
And
it's best to stay pat where you at.
Right.
Because the other teams who are contenders don't have the money to pay you.
Right. Because the only teams that you'd be wise to trade them to would be an AFC team. Now, of course, you're not going to trade them to Kansas City.
Absolutely not.
You're not going to trade them to Baltimore.
Yeah.
So.
And Baltimore, they ain't got the chicken to pay him. They ain't got the poultry.
And Cincinnati's trying to pay Jamar Chase, so you're not gonna go. He's not gonna go there. So, but and I'm not gonna go through all these teams. All right, next question.
All right, hit it.
And my answer is gonna be real short.
Okay.
Why has it taken so long for Demario Davis to finally receive his flowers after being one of the most consistent linebackers in the NFL? And my thing is,
go ahead.
Quiet. He's quiet.
Yeah,
he's a quiet linebacker that
good.
don't make a whole lot of noise. He's consistent. He just makes plays.
Mhm.
He's not someone
He's not flashy.
that makes that people sit there and say, "Oh, look."
Mhm. He's an outstanding linebacker, but he's quietly good. He's not flashy like a Fred Warner is,
right.
or like a
Roquan Smith.
Roquan Smith, or oh god, his name slips my mind. He used to play for the Seahawks.
Wagner,
like Wagner when he was in his prime.
Right.
He's not like that.
Right.
He's very, very good, and he's also overshadowed.
Yes,
the Saints has always been known as an offensive team.
Yes, that's
so he's overshadowed by how good the offense is. So he don't get the flowers he deserves because it's back during the Breeze time, during those times and everything. It's Alvin Kamara. Michael Thomas when he was doing his thing. Taysom Hill. And then I just forgot about good old Demario Davis that had made that stop on third down and got the ball back for the offense.
And like I said, he was just quiet.
Quietly good.
Yep.
Quietly good. Next question.
I have to answer to this one as well. If Trey Lance shocks the world during the preseason, does Jerry Jones dangle Dak Prescott as trade bait?
We were just talking about that. Go ahead, man.
So Trey Lance, I'm assuming, is going to get almost all the second team reps throughout training camp and preseason because Dallas has to see, who he is.
I think that reps mattered the most to Trey Lance because of his.
Of course it did. You mentioned it.
Yeah, his inexperience is what led him to be out of San Francisco. It wasn't he clearly has a physical ability, but it's the lack of NFL reps. He only played 18 games in college. That's it.
So let me say this. First of all, Trey Lance, when he was in high school, he played in Steve's favorite offense, which is the wing T offense. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
You're not going to get much quarterback stuff in a wing T offense. Okay. It's number one. Number two, yes, Eric, like you said, he only played 18 or 20 games in college, and it was only like one full season. That was 2019. He played one game in 2020 because of COVID as a starter. So when you look at it, it's not a ton of experience. He played 4 games in San Francisco. One was in the monsoon. Another one he got injured. Yeah, he lacks a lot of reps.
I think
he needs reps. Go ahead, Steve.
I agree 100%, Brandon. I think I'll be the one to say it. I don't think we'll be as good this year as we were last year, and
it would surprise me.
I would not be surprised if we were talking about extensions with players like Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb. I would not be surprised if we win anything less than 13 games, which I really think we will win less than that. I think this is could be Dak's last season, and
wouldn't surprise me
as a starter. As far as budget, as far as
and Dak becomes a quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next year.
Right, head coach on the bubble.
Yeah.
If that happens, if we don't win a division, which is very possible, I think McCarthy and Dak are gone. And Trey Lance. I want to see what Trey Lance has to offer. I'm not mad at it. It's a business. Next guy up.
Now the only thing is, Dak Prescott has a no trade clause in his contract, so he will have to waive it, and he gets to decide where he wants to go. So that's the only thing about Dak. That's the only holdup. But
this is last season on the contract, though, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Who'd you be free agent?
No. I know. But the question was, does Jerry Jones dangle Dak Prescott as trade bait? And
oh yeah, no.
He has all the leverage because you can't franchise tag him after the season.
Yeah, when it comes to that,
no trade clause in this contract.
But we won't franchise tag him. We have I don't see that happening.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if anybody gets tagged, it'll probably be either CD or Micah. If somebody was to get a tag next year from Dallas, but that's a good point, and I really can see that going to one of them pirate teams, either Bucks or the Raiders. I can see that happening.
I can see go to New York Giants
or the Giants. Or watch this. Saints fans gonna be mad as hell at me. This. So the Saints. Let's say the Saints don't have a good season, and Dennis Allen gets fired, and they cut Derek Carr
and Taysom Hill.
Now what happens then? If Dak Prescott wound up in New Orleans, boy, I don't want to be around nobody from New Orleans. I'm just saying.
I mean, he's a good quarterback, man. Like,
no, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that. But you know the hatred between the Cowboys and the Saints and how bad y'all talk about each other. So I'm just.
They would be mad at that.
I really don't.
I just think that would be funny. I'm just playing devil's advocate, although the devil does not need an advocate. So let's go to the next question.
Okay, this one is a good one. Did Eric Bieniemy blow his chances of becoming a head coach in the NFL after his stint as OC in Washington?
No.
Let me put it this way. I think when you coach certain teams and they are just so bad, sometimes I think it should hurt you. Sometimes I don't think it should hurt you. I think this is a time that I don't think it should hurt him. Now, has it? Probably. And if so, it's unfortunate. I think Eric Bieniemy should get at least another OC job in the NFL first.
Okay.
And then build himself back up into head coach conversation. I think we're in 2024. Mm-hmm. Now he's at UCLA. He's gonna probably be there at least 2 or 3 years easily. If he's not a head coach by range of 29 and maybe 30, then I think it's over.
NFL head coach?
And it also depends on what happens between now and then.
Because my thought is kind of like yours, Brandon. It's a little bit different route. I think he's OC at UCLA, correct?
Yes.
I think what's going to happen is he's going to be an OC at UCLA and then get a chance to get a head gig at a power school.
Yep.
Power 5 school.
Power 5 school. Well, we can't even call it Power 5. I mean, like power
something.
It's power something because man, right now everything's left to right and front to back in the NCAA. But
the Power 5 is still okay. Yes, teams are moving. But it's still Power 5 because it's still ACC, it's still Big 12, it's still Big 10, Pac-12. And,
that's why I just say power school.
Yeah.
So, he get a gig. Let's say he blows UCLA up. UCLA starts to become a good school and respected football program again. Okay, then he gets offered a head coaching job at some school somewhere and flips them around and turns them around as a head coach. I think he can jump directly from being a head coach in college football to being a head coach in NFL.
You know, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you for saying that.
If he can do that
would be the route. Yeah, I think he should stay with Kansas City, man. If you leave, I'm not going to Washington. I'm not doing that, man. I think that was a bad move for him.
Especially with Snyder as the owner at the time.
I know people personally who have done similar transitions in different fields where it's like it's not even a lateral move. That's like a downgrade with hopes of, getting a higher position. Like that was a bad move, man. He should have stayed in KC. Man, in my opinion.
Yeah, I believe so. And the thing was, he got there probably with the hopes that when Ron Rivera got fired, that he was going to take over. But again, like Brandon said, it was under the wrong management to think that. And had it been different management, possibly, that probably could have happened. He probably would have gotten that head coaching job with the current management, But I think the best route for him is blow UCLA up, turn him into a powerhouse, get a head coaching job at another big school, blow that up, become a contender. You ain't even got to win the national title. Just become a contender. A perennial contender. And then he'll get off of the head coaching job. He'll take the Harbaugh route, basically. and get a head coaching job in the NFL again, be back in the NFL. So, I think that's a possibility. So let's keep it rolling because we're almost out of time. Because I know there's 1,000. Thank you again for all those who submitted questions. We really appreciate you. We're trying to get to all of them. Come on.
What is it going to take for the Ravens to overcome the Chiefs if they meet in the AFC Championship game again?
Run the damn ball.
I mean, that's what it was last year.
Run the damn ball. That's it.
There you go. That's the answer right there.
Run the damn ball. Shit, I don't know why teams don't do that when they have a chance to have the Chiefs against the ropes. They refuse to run the ball.
While leading the league in rushing.
Come on.
They got you there.
But you know, it's what Trisha said a few weeks ago on this podcast. Teams are just so they have to. Well, they don't have to, but their mindset is we have to put the football in the quarterback's hands, and it's like,
no, you don't.
Yeah,
you gotta win the game,
right? And see, I think there's a way of doing it. Yes, I want to put the football in my quarterback's hands. Okay. I don't need to do that 45 to 60 snaps a game. I can do that. I can set you up 6 to 7 times a game to put the ball in your hands and lead us to victory. Okay. I don't have to do that every single snap. We can run the ball. I can have plays where you throw the football. Yes. But your playmakers are making the plays. But that 1, 2, 3 times I need you, then that's when I put the ball in your hands. I don't need to do that throughout the game.
And here's the thing. You play to the weakness of the team that you're playing against. So if you're playing a team with a weak secondary, hell yeah, bombs away. Throw the ball 60 damn times.
No, of course.
Torch them bastards. But Kansas City, these last couple of years, they've been susceptible to the run.
Yes.
And you got the Ravens and you got the freaking 49ers, the 2 best running teams in the league. And, we just ain't gonna run the ball in the second half. We're not gonna run the ball. So that answers that question. Let's go to the next one.
Who has the best chance of taking the AFC West over the Chiefs? For a couple years, nobody. I think the best chance down the road will be the Chargers, just because I'm looking at Jim Harbaugh.
Down the line, but the next couple of years, they gonna own that division. They gonna
of course.
back up. They gonna wake up, put on their slippers, and before they fix a cup of coffee, win that division.
Thank you.
Basically, until further, unless because there's that X factor. There's a plethora of injuries. That's it.
Could Miami speed actually be a hindrance to their potential success?
No, it's actually that's how they got to where they at. Being taken seriously again.
They're for some reason they're not able to beat some of these. Well, this past season they weren't able to beat a lot of the elite teams. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Tua really has maxed out at quarterback.
And here's
because Tua is really limited at quarterback. Like, he can throw stuff over the middle and whatnot, but if you ask him to throw some of them 7 routes, like the corner route or comeback route towards the sideline, that's a struggle.
So you're saying his receivers are outrunning his arm? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying is, if I'm a team going up against the Dolphins, I'm shutting down the middle of the field and forcing you to throw deep and out.
Outside the numbers. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Deep and outside the numbers.
But to answer the question, no, the speed is not hurting. Speed kills. Speed kills, especially when you have somebody who knows how to organize all that speed. And Mike McDaniels is that guy. Now, the issue is, like Brandon said, might be quarterback, but that speed, no, because these ain't no little speedy, wimpy guys. These are guys who are fast and know how to put their shoulder down. Even Tyreek Hill with his little bitty tail, you see he built like a little rock. So, like, these guys are not, I know.
And they catch.
I know you think about like the greatest show on turf, because I'm sorry, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, all of them, Isaac King, they will look. If you put your hands on them,
they weren't going nowhere.
Hands on them, that you took them out their game. Yeah, you took them out their game. This is not that team. Miami, they've got a toughness to them. They just fast as hell. That's all.
But also, like I said, they can catch too. They're not like
Yeah.
Darius. They're not like Darius Hayward Bay or John Ross. They can catch.
Yeah, these guys can catch, and they pack a certain physicality with them. They're not wimpy, because again, Mike McDaniels comes from that Shanahan tree, and if you're not tough, you don't play. So that there's that. So they're not that. Let's go to the next question.
Does the addition of Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon potentially make CJ Stroud a 4,500-yard passer?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think of all the wide receivers that's on the team, from Diggs to Collins to Dale to Brown to Mechie to tight ends like Noah Brown, and I think they got another tight end on the roster. You have Joe Mixon at running back with God, what's the other running back? But they got a lot of offense weapons. I mean, the expectation, and plus you got to remember too, Stroud missed about 2 or 3 games last season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Pierce is that running back you talking about?
Yeah, Damian Pierce. Thank you, Damian Pierce.
Man, they are going to thrive this year. Offense. I mean, just as a team.
That offense is designed to
they're
make
going to thrive.
Easier for the
quarterback.
And we're not even talking about the maturation of CJ Stroud. We're just talking about the weapons. But then you got to throw in another fact that CJ Stroud already was playing very mature as a rookie.
Not to mention, Bobby Slowick is going to have a second year with Stroud.
Thank you. So you got, man, yeah.
And this
4,500 yards is not a hard.
And this is their first full off season together. Full off season, because remember, Stroud was drafted in April.
Yeah. So yeah, this is. I can't say enough about the expectations for the Houston Texans. It's because of how mature and how heady, how smart CJ Stroud is. And now he's got all these weapons with him in that particular offense. Yeah. Now you got a better defense now. You already got one of the best defensive coordinators in the league as a head coach. And now you got better pieces on your defense. So that means you're going to get the ball back more often. Yeah. So, yeah. Next question.
All right. These 2 questions, I'm going to kind of put them together a little bit. Does DeMeco Ryans make that call to J.J. Watt during the season? But do the Texans actually need J.J. Watt? Could the defense
they don't need
back? Huh?
Hell no, they don't need JJ. I love JJ to death. JJ is one of Houston's favorite sons that was not born here. People love JJ Watt here, but they don't need it. JJ. Just come to the games and just offer your moral support, bro. You got Anderson, and now you got Danielle Hunter coming off the edges. We good. And
yeah, I'm
speaking for the Texans game when I say we good. They good.
I don't think they need JJ Watt. I understand the question because you want JJ Watt to get a Super Bowl ring, and this is probably the only time he can get one.
Yeah.
First of all, JJ Watt has been retired for a couple of years now, at least. He's out of football shape. Now, is he probably in human shape? More than likely, yes. But there's a difference between being in human shape and football shape, and you have to get that man back in shape. If you was going to do that, you should have had him just working out this entire offseason. You should have signed him. One, got him back in shape, and then that way he could have just been at least a rotational piece. You don't need him for training camp. You don't need him for September. You just need to win your division, get to the playoffs, and then be ready. But he's not in football shape.
And again, I love JJ Watt.
He's fantastic.
He was one of my favorite players. My mom, God rest her soul, she told me if JJ Watt wanted her to adopt him, then she would put me out. My mama loves some JJ Watt. And I mean, he can do no wrong in her eyes. But yeah, and I agree. JJ Watt could be around the facility. He could be part of the coaching staff if you want to, unofficial, like Frank Gore is a consultant for the 49ers. JJ Watt could be a consultant for the team. Just be around.
JJ Watt could be a pass rush specialist or front 7 guy, and just like, hey,
just come in. Hey man, your technique is off right here. You need to do this.
Yeah,
hey, that's it. That's how JJ Watt could best help the Houston Texans.
Or
him showing up and being at the games to galvanize the crowd because they all love him.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, JJ Watt, he just come they just lose their mind and the team get hyped and they whoop somebody's tail. That's it. That's all you need. Go ahead. Next question.
Will this be a breakout year for Will Levis in Tennessee?
Hell no. Not no, but hell no.
Yeah, nothing leads me to believe that. So yeah.
I mean, when Levis came out, I think we said that he was Kyle Bowler 2.0.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's it for Will Levis.
Mm-hmm. What else we got?
Last question.
All right.
What about the available free agents? Where do you think Stephon Gilmore, Justin Simmons, and Connor Williams will land?
That's a good one. So let me get that one. So there's been talks with Justin Simmons and a couple of teams. I have not heard anything about Stephon Gilmore. And who's the other guy?
Connor Williams.
Connor Williams. Hadn't heard much about them later. What I could see happening is they might just hang back until, especially Justin Simmons, because he's probably the most valuable of those three. What I could see happening is once all of these contract disputes get kind of settled and the dust settles on that, right as training camp gets midway to the midway point, I could see Justin Simmons getting signed. I could see Stephon Gilmore getting signed. Also, as these guys start, God forbid, as these guys start getting hurt in training camp, that's when the phone is going to start ringing. That's when the phone.
Yeah, I think a lot of these players, we see them being free agents. There are a lot of conversations that happen that we don't know about, to where there are salary demands that teams don't want to meet. So it's not about how good they are. It's about the CBA. It's about, because legally when you have certain accolades and awards as a player, there's a minimum that teams have to pay you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They have to pay you. And so like Stephon Gilmore, let's just say Tennessee, they can't offer Stephon Gilmore $1 million to play a season. Like the bottom line is, okay, he has these all pros, DPOY. They have to start at a certain number that teams sometimes can't do for decorated players. Yeah. So it's not like a regular job where they can give you whatever. Like, no, it has to start at a certain baseline, whether the player likes it or not. So that's the issue when it comes to these free agents contract, which is why good players have to retire, because they were so good up front. Now they can't get a contract later.
And that's why I said Justin Simmons is probably the most valuable of them, because he just came off a second-team All-Pro year this year. So he was just second-team All-Pro. So a lot of people wonder why
No, exactly.
Yeah, so he's just coming off of that. So a lot of people are like, well, wait, why is he sitting on the couch? He's second-team All-Pro. He ain't but 30 years old. Yeah, but to what Steve's point is that, I'm second-team All-Pro. I deserve some money. Right, and they're like, well, we wasn't gonna pay you exactly that, Justin. I don't know. Well, okay, well,
but it's not even his doing. It's in the contracts. It's the CBA collective bargaining agreement requires, if you have this award, no team can pay you less than, like, let's just say it's maybe like $8 million. He's like, well, I'll take $2 million. The team can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
They can't do that.
Yeah. So they basically priced themselves out by how good they played previously. And but that being said, going back to what I originally said, I think, like I said, I don't want to see nobody get hurt, but God forbid guys start getting hurt, these phones are going to still be ringing. Or if once a lot of these contract situations and a lot of these different teams start to settle, it's okay. We just signed. I'm gonna just use my team for example. Let's say the 49ers settle with Brandon Ayuk comes into camp. Okay, let's see how much money we got. How much did we had to get Justin Simmons? Call him. We can get him now. We can get him. Same thing. New Orleans. Let's go ahead and cut Taysom Hill and sign Justin Simmons. Because he paid too much anyway. Because there's no way. I just looked at that. I'm really flabbergasted that Taysom Hill makes more money than Tyrann Mathieu. That is deplorable. That is a crime.
That's why. I'm not getting back into that. Anyway, I have a little something with Connor Williams. I like Connor Williams. I think he's good. He came off a serious injury. He's not a strong offensive lineman, but he's smart and is technical. My problem with him is if he's trying to start somewhere at center, you have to know that playbook inside out, and he had to pick up on that playbook almost immediately wherever he goes. I would go somewhere and be a backup, learn the offense, continue to get healthy, and maybe halfway through the season, you can probably try to become a starter or try to become a starter somewhere else next season. That's what I would do.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a good question about the free agents. Those because those are probably the top 3 remaining free agents that whoever submitted that question. That was a very good question.
Yes, it was.
So we have gone way over time, but it was worth it. This was a great show. Thank you all for your questions. Next week we're gonna start getting off into talking about training camps. I believe the NFL is gonna start releasing the top 100. We gonna him and haw and haggle about that. And you know, NCAA's football just came out. I don't have my copy yet, but there's a lot of things that we can cover. And we want to thank y'all for tuning in. Those of y'all who did, those of you who submitted questions but weren't able to tune in, just, you know, you can still watch this when we answer your questions and everything. But we appreciate you all because you're what keeps this thing going. And make sure you tell a friend about us and have them subscribe specifically on our YouTube channel more than anything. But thank you, Brandon. Tell them about the platforms.
All right, here we go.
I do know Trent Baalke done messed up. That's why Brandon Ayuk ain't got a deal now. But I don't stop doing that. I hate Trent Baalke. He got to see me. He gonna catch these hands if I ever see Trent Baalke.
All right, here we go. I love doing this.
I'm gonna hit him with a folding chair like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I love doing
The views. How can I say this? The views of one member does not reflect the entire podcast views.
I'm gonna fight Trent Baalke.
Oh, by the way, I forgot
I'm saying that with my whole chest. I'm looking in the camera. Trent Baalke is on fight.
Right. Thank you, Eric. Thank you. One more thing we forgot to mention. Congratulations to Julius Peppers, Patrick Willis, and Devin Hester on officially receiving their gold jackets.
Mm-hmm.
The last couple of weeks they have been opening up the gift they got. Not gonna say in the mail, but however they got it shipped to them. But they have been opening up their packages, and they have shown that they have officially received their gold jackets for the Hall of Fame induction in really a couple of weeks, really. So, congratulations to Willis, Julius Peppers, and Devin Hester, man. I mean, really, that's what football is about. Your character, your determination, your focus, your discipline, how much you're willing to sacrifice as a player. You really got to put in the work to get here. I always say guys like Ronnie Lott, who broke his finger into a helmet hole.
Cut it off.
He amputated so he can keep playing football.
All right, get back in the game. Cut it off.
Emmitt Smith dislocated his shoulder and played through that dislocated shoulder. And every time he got tackled, you can hear pop, 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 pop. And, but it got his team to a victory and winning the division and getting home field advantage that year during the 93 regular season. So it's stuff like that makes you a Hall of Famer. And Patrick Willis, Julius Peppers, and Devin Hester continues to show that. And it's not just football, but if you want to get to where you want to be in life, those are the things, like I said, discipline, focus, determination, confidence, and you got to make sacrifices. So thank everybody for watching the show. We are currently live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Now, usually we are live on Twitter, but when I hit go live, I had gotten a message saying for us to go live on Twitter now, and I don't know why nobody, didn't say nothing until I hit the go live button. They want us to go to the premium subscription for Twitter. We'll talk about that, guys, off air, but they want us to go premium, so we was not able to go live on Twitter tonight. Number 2, you can follow us on TikTok. We have 201 subscribers. You can follow us on IG, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also listen to us on Google and Apple and Spotify podcasts, not Google, because I think Google's gone. So anyway, Panel 316, the good guy with the black hat.
It's on site, Trent Baalke.
Down below, Steve, the inventor of the show, the guy who came up with the idea for the to put the show together.
Peace out, fellas.
All right, and I am Coach Williams, the NFL Encyclopedia, the guy who can't retire because these guys won't allow me to retire.
Hell no.
But I do want to say good night to everybody and peace out.
On site.